have you ever wondered if you are going crazy? If you're on this spiritual journey and you start activating certain parts of yourself, you start having memories, you start having aha moments, insights, and then it comes to a point where you have so many of these things where your brain feels like it's going to explode, and where you are starting to question your sanity. And that's where you have a choice point to kind of take a step back and observe it through another lens, a lens of, okay, what is happening here? Or you kind of keep going, and that's when you can spiral off into being out of balance.
Because the truth is, people who go into spaces of delusion or luciferic inflation or extreme spiritual ego, they're not using those brake checks or allowing those questions to come in of, do all that I know, is all of this true? Because a lot of times that's the deepest thing that people are scared of. We talk about fears and we talk about death and we talk about many different things, abandonment, but what about realizing that your whole reality wasn't true? That you've been believing lies, that you've been spreading lies. That is a question that's necessary to have. But when that happens, a lot of people take it as a psychic attack, their ego's flaring up, that they've gone off path. But really, it's just a healthy brake check, because the ones who are going to choose delusion aren't going to ask those questions in an integrity way with honesty towards themselves.
And I think I speak for both of us when I say that we have both gone through moments on the journey where we have stopped, taken a step back, and looked at what it was that we were sharing, what it was that we were believing. And I think it becomes dangerous when you never question yourself, when you never question, where is the information coming from? How do I actually feel about this in my body? Am I embodying these things, or am I keeping these teachings here and not really feeling the truth of them or the illusion? And even in my work, I have seen where I had to shift gears here and there and bring it back to truth and really feel the truth of these things.
And the times when I found the most courage in myself, the most trust in myself, is when I have walked the line of what I feel is insanity versus sanity, and spiritual awareness versus spiritual delusion. And I've had many moments where I have the awareness of, I feel like I'm walking a tightrope, and that if I take a few more choices this way, I could go into complete spiritual delusion. So those are the moments where I've found the most intimacy with myself, because I've learned how to guide myself through those processes and bring myself to the other side. So it's not always the ego or a demon or a psychic attack or you doing the wrong thing that brings up these situations and these questions within yourself.
The thing is, in the past, we had mystery schools where you would go through the spiritual awakening and re-embodiment of these teachings over decades. A lot of people are now awakening in like 2 or 3 years, and it is a lot. So the thing is, you have to kind of recreate an artificial modern mystery school for yourself, where you have guidance, where you can go back to ancestral teachings about this, where they speak about this phenomenon that you're going through. And in most of the mystery schools, they talk about this exact thing. And there's guidance. So we can also offer you this guidance in a modern mystery school way.
Because remember, back in the days in the previous evolution cycles, we did a lot of this in community. We woke up in groups, like she's saying. We lived in the communities that we were becoming aware of this stuff with, and we had perspective, we had accountability, we had support. So now we're in this kind of lone wolf society, and we're learning how to get back to that community. So you've got to be willing to hold that perspective and make the choices that give you that support in this current situation. So if you want to work with us, check out what's written in the description.
Bye-bye.